Hello, Guardians, and welcome to Destiny Reset, episode 146. This podcast is about anything and everything related to the Destiny franchise. If you love playing Destiny 2 as much as we do, you're in the right place. This reset, we talk all about the big updates to the development roadmap, speculate on what the summer special event could be, and talk about our favorite weapons and loadouts so far in Season 3. Hello, Guardians, and welcome. It's AER0KNIGHT, and of course, CyborgSasquatch. Hello, my friend.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. How was your week?
Dude, my week was great. Fit in some Destinies, and had a best friend's wedding this weekend, so...
oh, those are fun. I love weddings.
Yes, it's... well, this was... I guess I could say the last of my friends to get married. So I may not be in too many weddings at least for the foreseeable future. Yeah, I went through renting the suit or the tux and all that.
I went through a couple of years where a whole bunch of my friends got married, and I was in I had 2 years where I think I was in 6 different weddings.
Yep.
This was back to back. I was going broke on tuxes and trips, and
it's like another rental.
Yeah. Well, I got my friends on when I got married. There's a couple different services where you can buy a custom suit for a pretty good price, $200 or so. Mm-hmm. And if you get a whole group of people, it's even cheaper. So I did that for my wedding, and it was a decent suit, and everybody got to keep them.
Yeah.
So now I've had 2 other friends do that, and I've acquired 2 suits through that. I would normally be renting a tuxedo,
Yeah.
Which, those things are terrible, man. Oh my gosh.
I know. I get a free suit out of my wedding tux rentals, and then you know how it is, you go with a very standard charcoal gray or something. Every wedding you're in after that is a totally different colored.
Yep.
So that part doesn't work out, but at least you have a suit to wear to work.
Yeah.
But anyways, dude, how was your weekend?
It was good. It was very productive. Just a lot going on at home and work. My son's last week of the school year.
Yeah,
all kinds. We had school program and that's kind of stuff, and then we're getting ready for my daughter's 1-year-old birthday party.
Oh, nice, very nice.
Yeah. So yeah, it was busy.
Milestones.
Yep, and then work staying pretty busy, and then just trying to keep up with Destiny, of course. Mm-hmm. Putting in lots of grind there.
Plenty to do in the Destinies as well.
Yeah. So pretty loaded week. So there's a lot to talk about in Destiny this week. Of course, we're only the second week into a new expansion, and then looking forward at some things. So and some stuff coming up here.
Yeah, man. Yep. Plenty to talk about for sure.
First, we have a quick reminder of our blue microphone / headphone giveaway. You want to remind everybody about that?
Yes, guys. We asked if you would email us at destinyresetpodcast@gmail.com and let us know your favorite new feature or mode in Warmind and or Update 1.2. It doesn't have to be a brand new game mode. Maybe it's a modified game mode. Maybe it's anything that you're enjoying right now in Destiny. We want to know. Please email us. Let us know what that is, and you will be entered to win your choice of Blue Lolas or a Blue Yeti microphone. You have until now. You're listening to this right now on the 22nd. You have until the end of today, midnight, wherever you are. We'll just say midnight, and we're going to announce a winner on Twitter, on the Twitterverse, on Wednesday, the 23rd. So hit us up. Keep emailing us. We've gotten so many. We thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
so many people excited about the game.
Flooded.
Yes.
So we knew people were listening for once.
Yes. more than a handful.
Yeah.
So anyways, make that
lots
happen,
of
guys.
entrants. Yeah. Somebody's going to win something cool.
Yes. Yes. That sweet blue loot. So we will let you know on Twitter.
Now, we've got some news, if you're ready for it.
I think I'm ready.
It's News 30. This week at Bungie, we watched Guardians become legends. They mentioned in the TWAB this week, of course, we had the first player officially earn the title of Legend in competitive Crucible.
Wow.
Of course, we mentioned last week, Clan Redeemed earned the title of World's First for the Spire of Stars.
You always
want to say stairs.
That's great.
Spire of Stars raid lair. And numerous fire teams finally completing 7 waves in Escalation Protocol. So lots of people making it to the finish line this past week.
Yeah, I've just seen actually today several tweets of people hitting 385 too, which is...
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
I saw a couple main peeps out there. I believe Goth was one of them. He said he enjoyed the slower grind, but he still did wish that 370 to 385 was even a bit slower. I was surprised to see that in my feed already.
Yeah, I'm 372 at my
nice.
highest, and that was like...
Ready to finish the raid then, huh?
Well, we'll talk about that.
Oops, sorry.
Save that for reset, sir. So... that was the intro there, but then they queue up the development roadmap that was promised. This dropped on May 16th, and we get a look ahead through Season 3 into Year 2, Season 1.
Kind of
So
forgot
let's talk about
they
that for a
hinted
minute, man.
this was going to drop. Some neat stuff on here, huh?
Yeah, really interesting stuff. So first off, right around the corner, I was surprised, very surprised. In a week from this, May 29th, we're getting 1.2.1 with faction rallies improvements, Crucible labs, and exotic armor sandbox changes. Let's just take these one at a time.
Yes, one at a time.
First off, I'm very surprised to see faction rallies coming back.
I thought it was going to be close to the end of the summer. Like this kind of throws a wrench in my whole community checkpoint episode too.
Dude, you keep getting like thrown. You have these things planned, and you're like, wait,
wait,
hold on.
I want it. Okay, I'll take it now, but like, hold on. I guess feedback's still okay.
You're just gonna have to put these out a lot quicker,
right?
You're gonna have to pick some different topics.
I know. I was so surprised to see faction rallies on here. I really hope too. Like, I mean, there's a couple different ways to look at it. You know, it's like, okay, they're coming back this quick. Like, did they have some stuff cooking for a while? Is it going to be substantial enough? Or it's like, maybe they're so confident in their updates with it. They're like, let's just get this out there, you know?
That was my only concern is as fast as this is coming back, how substantial is the improvement going to be?
Right. Yep.
And hey, maybe they've been working on this. And maybe they've got some cool things in store for us. But I'm a little wary because I'm just used to them conditioning us with how long it takes to really put things together. Sometimes months. So it's like, well, okay. Now, I will say there was some data mining, as always happens, with the new content, and pseudo spoilers, so skip ahead like 60 seconds if you don't want to hear what I'm about to say about factions. But they did data mine some items that were tied specifically to factions. There were, I think, exotic emotes for each one. There was an exotic weapon and armor piece for each faction that tied to a specific existing gun and armor. And what else was there? There was something else. But those were some significant
catalysts
things.
Are tied to the faction rallies too, but that's kind of a different layer of the game. So
cool stuff there. We'll see what they come up with. I'm eager to find out. You know, I'm guessing we may get a preview on Thursday.
Yeah. Well, you know, and on most fronts right now, I say, they've been knocking it out of the park. So I really hope I mean, I'm excited to see faction rallies. So there's so much opportunity of neat things in the game with faction rallies. So I'm excited to see what they're bringing back, you know?
Worst case scenario, it's got to be better than
more depth than what we
Slot
had.
Machine Simulator 2018, right? So if they can just do better than that, I mean, obviously, I'm gonna throw it out and say that they'll probably work in the level, you know, the leveling up type system like we have with Vanguard and
right, which we
you know,
to
Destiny
have.
1 style. That seems like that would be a natural thing, but what else, right?
Yep.
We'll
I don't know. I'm man. I mean, we got more to talk about, but I'm still loving this development roadmap. You know, it's nice to see what's coming when it's coming. To basically minus a month or two here in the summer, but basically every month we've been getting an update to our game, our favorite game. So this stuff's really cool. I mean, even to talk about the next one, dude. What's this next one on here?
Yeah, well,
I'm
really interested to see what you think about this. So, Crucible Labs. Now, let me read real quick below this. They had design lead Derek Carroll throw in a little comment here. You can say, I can already hear you asking, what is Crucible Labs? And I'm glad you want to know more. Update 1.2.1 will include a new feature intended to give you a peek behind the scenes and a louder voice in our creative process. Crucible Labs will give every player of Destiny 2 access to experimental PvP content. We'll then have a chance to solicit your feedback to guide our final iterations. You'll learn more about Labs before launch. For today, with it making an appearance on the roadmap, I wanted to give you a preview of our goals. More to come on this soon. So, how huge is this?
Yeah, I mean, this is another like, wow, okay, Bungie, you just keep on taking these amazing steps. Have they? Now, they haven't confirmed anything about the platform. That everybody's saying that this is probably or may be PC only. At least is the rumblings, just because it's so easy to do things like this on PC. I'm curious. We haven't heard for sure yet, right?
No, because it says every player of Destiny 2.
Oh, true. Okay, good observation. Yep. Okay, which is huge. I'm hoping it's not just going to be.
I'm just going to assume that they are careful enough with their words that if it was just going to be for PC, they would
say
come
it
right out and say that.
Yeah.
You know,
a lot of people. I think again, I'm not certain, but I want to say like some of the things that I heard this week is other games that do this, they do it just on their PC versions.
Yeah, they call it a PTR, right?
PTR,
Private Test Realm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is really fascinating, and I think this got the biggest interest.
Wow,
this
like,
week.
People have been asking for this for so long. And then just to randomly see it in a summer update, and like you already said, it was what, a week and a half away when they post this. It's not like it's like, hey, in the fall we're planning to drop this awesome thing you guys have been asking for so long. It's like, hey, a couple weeks, check this out.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was a separate client, kind of like the beta. Right. If you will. So, you kind of pull it up. It's got limited features. You can only go into the Crucible, and that way that client, connects to different servers, and it's more enclosed, and they can update just that client if they want.
Right.
Could be wrong,
cool, though,
but
dude.
I'm
this
pretty excited,
is a big
and
step
a lot
for
of
the
my friends
PvP
are.
community. Yep.
Yeah. And so of course everybody's like, okay, so you can test out 2-hit melee and 2-tap hand cannons, right? Like,
yeah.
We'll see, but it gives them a place where, maybe they can experiment and try out, high demand changes that the community wants, so that people can see, well, okay, this is how that could play, and
they can do it without just, fear of breaking the game, You don't
have to break the general game.
Yeah. I do wonder too, like some things, it's like, of course they could give us, something that many players may enjoy or want. But again, they have to make the ultimate decision if they think it's the right direction or good for the game, so, but they've been handling the community feedback and intertwining that and what they're doing so well, these past many, many months, that something like this just seems like a natural next step. So I'm excited, very excited.
This seems like a huge next step in the development of the game becoming more of an actual conversation than a dictation, right?
Right. Yeah.
Here's what you go. Here's what you get. Like I'm serving up your plate. You get broccoli. You get meatloaf and mashed potatoes. Clean your plate. That's all you get this week, right? Now it's like you kind of going through a lunch line. Would you like meatloaf?
A la carte.
Or would you like chicken?
A la carte destiny.
So, and I think people like that a little bit more. I mean, everybody loves Piccadilly, right?
Yeah, man, and it's
something for the whole family.
It's neat to see this much, just this much, I guess, I don't know how to say it, intertwining of the community and Bungie. It's just, everything has changed so much. And it's, again, I've said before, it's not like that this wasn't their intention before. It's just that now the way that they're structuring and using the community feedback and involving the community more directly, it's obvious what their goals are, and we have a role in it all, so it's a big thing, man. It's a big deal all the way around. So,
well, and things like this I see as an investment in the relationship with your community, right?
Yeah.
You're saying, hey, we trust you enough, that we care enough to create a private test realm to try this stuff out and let you see it. And that takes a lot of work and money to do that, right? We care enough to give you a development roadmap, even though we didn't do that for 3 years beforehand, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I think as this kind of conversation and relationship starts to grow, I think the developer will start to feel more comfortable with the direction it's going, right? When Hamrick and Wisniewski were on DCP, one of the things they talked about was how creating a roadmap was just an insane idea to them, because they were having to make promises that they still didn't know if they could commit to. And they had to become comfortable with the fact of like putting out milestones, putting a rock in the, like a mile marker out there and saying, okay, we think we can get here by then, and being okay with trying to do that, and also being okay with, okay, we can't do that, we're going to tell everybody it's got to get pushed out, and being okay with that feeling like, okay, we didn't do it, so we're going to push it out, and here's why. God, I hope this doesn't blow back on us, right?
Yeah.
And as they've been able to do that, and people have been, and of course there's plenty of outliers, but the community as a whole has been understanding and mature about, okay, like we like this, so we're going to take this for what it is and say, okay, you couldn't do this. Great. Thanks for telling us. Then that makes them feel even better about that process, and they can give us more, right?
Well, that's our role as the community as well. Like, we've got to understand, these are, some of these things are big things on here. Some of these things are stretch goals, and, we've got to understand part of this process is that things can get pushed back. And, that's where we play our role and don't get all in an uproar about that and understand some of these different layers. But I will say I was very surprised not only that Crucible Labs was on there for May 29th, but also without an asterisk next to it.
I mean, at this point, if it's going to be in that patch for May 29th,
it's like they know it.
Submitting it.
This thing, I don't know. I want to hear more about this. Like, to be there that quick and to be implemented that quickly, and
almost sure we will on Thursday, because that's going to be their chance to talk about it before it pushes out next Tuesday.
Yeah,
so
and we know
we got that to look forward to this week.
Have been a meaty for the last quite a while. So
they're quite healthy. we're growing fat with strength from these roadmaps.
Aquabness.
Okay, well, let's talk about July.
Yes. What do you think on here, dude?
So July, Solstice of Heroes seasonal event, bounties, expansion 1 and 2 raid layer prestige, PC clan text chat, year 1 triumphs, more exotic armor sandbox changes.
So we got the name of the new seasonal events.
Solstice of Heroes. So obviously that sounds a lot like the year 3 triumph stuff, right?
Think so
the age of what was it called after Rise of Iron? It was like the age of, or the
well, we had different tiers of that triumphs, right?
Yeah, I can't remember now. I mean, it was the whole thing celebrating, the 3 years, and we were going into the age of heroes or some nonsense, right? And it kind of sounds similar to that, but this almost seems like with the year 1 triumphs, like we're going to kind of see a rehash of basically triumphs. I mean, I'm surprised that we're getting triumphs after year 1, but then I thought back and I remember we did that before the Taken King.
Yeah.
Right? Because I remember everybody trying to get Prison of Elders Skull.
Yeah, that was one of mine. Yep.
That was the biggest thing there. So, I mean, it makes sense. I guess we're going to do that every year now, so that's a thing. But I liked the record books. Like, those were fun. Those were like a fun off-season thing. Like, you could have some stuff already done, you go and grind out some more stuff and kind of get all those nodes and get some cool things.
I think I've mentioned that before. I didn't, the very first one, I did, make an effort, pretty decent effort to complete. I spent so much time in the Crucible, but I do, like, after the fact now in hindsight, like, I do see the value in those and I do kind of miss them. So, while this is going to be a brand new seasonal event, I kind of hope, there's more layers to it than just that. But I do like the idea of the record book coming back, like
I'm just hoping that the seasonal event is different enough than the triumphs, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully that name is not just indicative of what we think it is,
right?
That there's a little more to it. I mean, obviously all we have is a name, so we have no idea. It's just that when I also saw the triumphs, I'm like, are we going to kind of get a rehash of year 3?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, but they said it's a new event, brand new. So I'm going to wait until we find out,
Yeah. I think there'll be more layers for sure.
Sounds cool though. Solstice is a summer term, so.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's I will say, like, the more we go over July here, like, I know some of this stuff are things that we, many Guardians maybe would have wanted sooner. But I do like that, while they continue to work on this, what we'll call an hopefully extremely meaty September DLC, launch and update to the game, this stuff over the summer is nice. I'm pertaining, I'm mentioning things like the raid layer, prestige raid layers for expansion 1 and 2.
Yeah,
obviously we wanted, many would have wanted those sooner, I'm sure. But to get them over the summer is kind of cool. It depends on glass half full, half empty, however you want to look at it. But, bounties is something I'm excited about too. Bounties, I'm hoping the reward is there and the incentive to do them. There'll be a different tier than just getting tokens with challenges. But again, bounties, the raid layers, it's kind of cool to fill the gap over the summer with these things.
Remembering what they've talked about with the prestige stuff is they kind of threw out an idea of a totally different system of prestige than what we've ever seen. If you remember, they had that blog post talking about, okay, we want prestige to be a different thing, and we're talking about having like modifiers weekly with different challenges and this and that. So not only will we get them, but they'll almost be like a brand new spin and activity on the raid layers. So between the seasonal event, bounties, the 2 prestige raid layers in a whole different way, the triumphs, if you're playing this game like as a hobbyist, like you get into all this content, we're going to have a lot to keep us busy over the summer.
The summer, yeah. Exactly.
July and August should be pretty busy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's exciting.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
And then seeing that they've split the exotic armor sandbox changes, it seems like we're going to kind of get them in 2 halves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, but it, we're going to see some now and then some in a couple months. So I wonder what's going to make the cut and which won't.
Right. Yeah. And this, I am very interested to see what these will entail. If they'll be pretty substantial updates.
Yeah, everybody's talking now that the weapons got a treatment. They're like, wow,
Yeah.
the armor really seems like it needs it even more now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's just, I mean, at least like for me as a Titan, there's, just a handful of exotics. I mean, I just have my go-tos, and there's, it's all about that, everybody always talks about giving you that incentive to customize your play style with certain pieces of gear and weapons, and, that's what many say the exotic armor, like the weapons before, is maybe lacking a little bit, that uniqueness with your guardian, how you like to play,
Mm-hmm.
So customization.
So next up, we get a glimpse into Year 2 Season 1 in September with some much bigger ideas on the horizon. Gear collections, oh boy, records, weapon slot changes, weapon randomization, new gameplay modes, and more yet to be revealed. I can't wait for gear collections. Been asking for that for a long time.
Yes.
Records, which I think we're thinking that has to do more with like a record of like completing an activity. I'm thinking. Okay. Weapon slot changes. That's a big item that's been on everybody's wish list for a while, right?
Which is an
weapon
interesting
randomization.
One.
Who knows
That
what
one
that
we
means?
still don't. Yeah, that we still don't know too much about.
It's a big wild card. And new gameplay modes. Don't know what we're looking at there, but that's exciting.
I have played one.
There's one that you've played. But they have an S there. Modes. So there's plenty yet to be revealed. I'm excited, man. There's
exciting.
September's sounding pretty cool.
Dude, people have been, again, we're just a couple weeks in, but people have been so pleased with War Minds, and not only the grind, but the collectibles, the layer of collectibles that are there, while maybe less than a Dreadnought, still, pretty substantial, and layering of quests and exotics we still haven't seen. And there's just this element of mystery there, and everybody's excited, I think, because if we're getting that with War Minds already, one of the critiques that we gave, of course, and many, was the story. And, maybe it got cut, or things weren't in place for this DLC, or they already were well into place and they couldn't do much with it. But there's so much of this expansion and this update that people are excited, because it's exactly what we want to see. And we're hoping that we'll see it amplified times 100 with the September update, That's I think where the excitement's at. Everybody's enjoying everything right now, and loving to see some of these things that we were used to in the past, these secrets, these collectibles, and it's got us amped up for September. And then seeing these bullet points on here.
On to September. It's crying.
It's crazy though. I mean, we talked about it last week, Again, just to reiterate, like especially if you bought the season pass, you definitely need to log in and download this and start playing. But there are many things for the Destiny hobbyist right now. So again, I
absolutely,
I think we both strongly recommended that. If you don't want to spend any more money and wait till September, definitely go for it. But if you have any slight, desire to jump into this, and especially if you bought the season pass, you jump in and play some Destiny, guys. It's a good time right now.
I even have friends that are coming back that didn't play any of the DLC. They didn't play Curse of Osiris either, so they're going through that, or they didn't finish all the stuff from Osiris. And a pretty cool thing is now that the power cap is raised, the Curse of Osiris stuff actually leveled with the rest of the total loot pool. So if you go, say, if you don't have some of the forge weapons, you can get those to drop at powerful light power levels, and all that stuff will help you go up.
I'm like setting on, I kind of hit a wall where I couldn't do my next verse. I needed some materials, but I definitely have enough now. I'm probably enough for the next one. So I need to go do it.
I'm kicking myself for grinding all those out of like, I could have left a few and gotten some powerful guns.
I still haven't gotten the sidearm.
A lot of those guns are really good.
Yeah, that sidearm. I've been like, every time I do one, I don't think I have a ton left, but I've just kind of been doing them here and there, and I still haven't gotten the verse for the sidearm to pop up, and everybody seems to really like that Curse of Osiris sidearm.
It's a great sidearm. There's a couple pulses that are AAA solid pulses. There's an auto that's great. Jack Queen King is one of the best hand cannons in the game. Best energy hand cannons. So those are definitely worth getting if you didn't finish that off. Like, those are absolutely great tier of weapons. They did a good job with them, even though people were complaining they're like reskins, blah blah. Like, they're good. So
get
them. So there's a lot of value there for you too. Like, if you didn't go do that, like, that content still is relevant, and it's got good gear, and it'll help you climb in power. So go check it out. Back to the news.
Yes.
We've got senior investment designer Daniel Akinpal. I keep throwing this guy in here. I got to pronounce his name. Talking about power. And to summarize, he mentions the improvement with progression system in Warmind is an improvement over Curse of Osiris, but not ultimately where they want to end up. So they mentioned some changes, specifically with heroic strikes, that they're going to make on the May 29th update. So first one you'll see is escalation protocol key fragments will become a 100% drop chance from each heroic strike. They want to make those fragments more accessible while also preserving the need to play non-open world content to get the fragments. Next, heroic strikes will be able to drop better rewards. Every 3 to 5 heroic strikes will drop a legendary that can carry you up to 360 power before mods. So they don't have any time. They mentioned to make changes of what's coming on the 29th, but he asks, please let them know what you feel about those rates. It's good information to inform future updates. They're tracking additional issues that don't have immediate solutions. So he has a list of things that they're thinking and talking about, but he doesn't have any solutions to talk about. So some of those things are how to smooth out the transition into the in-game grind once the campaign is over, since there's kind of a brick wall at 345 where you just very quickly slow down. So they're looking on how to smooth that out. He mentions once milestones are complete, there aren't rewards to chase. Exotic masterworks and seasonal ranks help that problem a little bit, but they're not enough. He mentioned, as in highlighted in the roadmap, weapon randomization and records should give players more to do, but they don't think that's a fully solved problem. In-game progression needs more tiers. Right now, everything gives similar sized upgrades without discrete tiers for players to climb to, so they can tackle new activities and then climb to a new tier with new activities. So he said, this is something I wouldn't expect solution for prior to September, but it's on our radar. And then finally, the quality of the rewards don't always match the difficulty of the activity. We're seeing a lot of this around raid lair rewards in particular. So talking about how to better align with the quality of reward and the difficulty of activity is something we're going to think about more.
Yeah. We mentioned the raid layer one last week. I've seen feedback this week, even after us talking about it last week, that, people getting 2 weapons and some reskinned armor for the raid is a big thing, because people, I haven't ran the raid myself. You talked about that more maybe here in a little bit, but for such a big activity and apparently very fun activity, very fun new raid layer, like the incentive again for the loot or the reward isn't quite there this go around. So it's nice to see that acknowledged. I will say too, like we mentioned, a back and forth I had with Daniel on Twitter last episode, talking about heroic strikes, and that was a big point of feedback immediately. And then he posted to a more general thread about it as well. And then I just want to point out, to see it then boom in the TWAB, up front and center, talking about it, recognizing it. I think that's cool to see that quickly, Yeah. This guy's been on Twitter talking about it over the last week. This expansion hasn't been out very long. And to, whether he said, hey, I want a little section in the TWAB this week, like, it's cool to see it in here and addressed, So
I have 3 pieces of feedback on this whole thing. Mm-hmm. So heroic strikes, I think 2 things. This is a great change. It's going to be too late, too little for most.
For this, yeah.
But there's still people that don't do certain activities that will still be able to utilize that. So that's great. Second, I think a great solution for heroic strikes is, okay, you want to do every 3 to 5 heroic stripes, you'll get a legendary. That's pretty slow. 3 heroic strikes will easily take you an hour.
Right.
But I would propose bring back the strike streak mechanic and have that streak increase the drop rate of that powerful legendary.
There you go.
So let's say after 3, you get a better and better chance, and the longer you run them, you get a better and better chance of getting that. So if you want to grind it out to get up in power quicker, you'll start to get those. Say you want to sit there for 3 hours and just grind heroic strikes. Maybe you get 5, 6, 7, 360 power pieces of gear. It's a good return on your time if you're really trying to grind it out, right?
Right. Yeah. I like that.
I think that would be a good solution, so that, honestly, like if I was trying to grind up to 360 just using partially just that, there's no way in hell I would do like 15 strikes for 3 pieces of gear. You're out of your mind, like no way, dude. That's hours and hours for like a handful of things, and you're still subject to the RNG. Like, what if you just get 3 arms, So I think they need to do something a little bit more substantial, but it's a start.
Well,
the last thing.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry. What would you suggest?
Well, again, I was just going to reiterate, like we mentioned last week, like strikes are our dungeon instances, man. And to have a reason to run them while we're leveling up, but then also, I love your idea to have a reason to run them other than just for the milestone. Like, they are our dungeons, and they're fun, and they're fun to do with your friends. So if they can figure out give us an incentive to do them at max lights or near max lights, something like a streak, like you said. Like, it's important because that's what they are. They're our dungeons,
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry.
I've been doing them for the past 2 weeks, and they're really fun. Personally, I've been having a lot of fun running strikes.
Yeah.
And with the modifiers and everything, like, there's some really interesting combinations, some really challenging combinations, but it's a lot of fun to go in there with different builds and try to tackle the different strikes and stuff. So the fun is there. You just need to make it rewarding.
It's the
last
thing.
piece of feedback I have is for the raid layers. And I talked about this for a second last week, but I think that the size of the activity, I think the player base is okay with it. I think they actually like having a shorter raid experience for those activities. Like, the big lair for the main expansion is great, or the big raid rather. and then having the smaller layers is like a more manageable experience to try to run more than one, right? The problem is just there's not unique loot there. Eater of Worlds did. It had unique armor. Even though it's the ugliest armor in the game, I still collected it, and it's cool. But I think each layer, it's okay if you have to make it a shorter experience, but it needs full sets of armors and full sets of weapons.
It's important.
If you want it to feel rewarding for people.
Incentive to do it. Because I saw this week, again, love the new raid layer. It's a lot of fun, but I just don't know how much I'm going to do it because there's not incentive to. There's
not much for you there, yeah. I mean, you're talking about across 2 of them, there's 4 guns. And some of them are good. Like the Eater of Worlds guns are great. The grenade launcher in the shotgun, a couple of the best in the game for PvE.
Right.
So I haven't played with the fusion and the sidearm that comes from Spire of Stars yet. I've seen them. I don't know how they play, but a remake of some armor and 2 weapons, that's tough, man.
Yeah. And I mean, of course, there's many Guardians out there that you wonderful Guardians. You love to Sherpa people through the raids and stuff, and that's fun for you. And that's awesome. And that creates incentive for many of you. But ultimately, again, it's the classic thing I always say, we used to play, and we still do, play video games because they're fun. But we have been groomed to, while having fun, want cool loot and rewards. So it's a baseline of the experience in this game, and while I'm not raiding much right now, I'm not the raid machine that you are. I still completely understand that what's going on there.
This is a loot game, man.
Yep.
You can't get around that. And I see people tweet, they're like, remember when you just had content you ran because it was fun? I was like, yeah, sure. But this is a loot game. I play God of War because it's fun, You still get loot in that game too, but beyond that, besides the point, this is that type of games. And the loot is what it's exciting because it gives you a different way to play the game. That is the underlying mechanic. So it's important, no matter how you try to work around it or spin it or whatever, you gotta have good set. And I think that it's just super obvious that their teams that produce the armor and the weapons are stretched. It's obvious in every way. Yeah. So I hope that they're solving that. Of course. Yeah. I do. I respect it. It's obvious, but I'm not utilizing that as a criticism. It is what it is. I hope that they're solving that because that is such a crucial part of their team and of the game.
Yeah. And again, a layer that we haven't directly said, but is obvious here is when it's also the loot and incentive is important in every activity. It's the classic thing we mentioned just a few minutes ago. There's plenty to do in Destiny, plenty of fun things to do in Destiny, but the incentive is what we're working on here, in multiple different layers. But when you couple it with extremely hard activities like the raid layer, that's when it even it stings a bit more, right?
And a game that revolves around playing activities again and again and again and again, right?
The reset.
I'll play through the whole raid layer one time and say, okay, I mastered it, I beat it, great. The only reason I'm going to go back, besides the opening sequence of Spire of Stars, because it's just fun, is going back to get some loot and to power up. So it's just got to be there. Okay.
It's nice to see him talk about it here. Yep.
Yeah. This is where we talk about that stuff. So that's our feedback. That's my feedback. Hopefully they can take that and do something that will improve things in a way that's realistic for them. And that's just what's important to me as a player. Now they talk a little bit about Valor and Glory. You want to talk about this?
Man, I actually wanted to dive into this again before we recorded, but I didn't.
I mean, the whole reason they have this here is because it's a little bit confusing.
Yes. Yeah. And
there's questions people have.
Too.
Yeah, there's questions people have about how Valor and Glory work and how the matchmaking is working.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's go through these questions.
Let's do it.
Why would I match against a player with a higher glory rank than me? So he answers, we don't match directly on your glory number, instead using our per playlist skill value. It's quite likely that your opponent is a good match against you, but they've been grinding glory more consistently, so have moved up the ranks faster. Take this as a sign you'll likely reach that rank with continued play. This makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's almost like, okay, let's say that Lance could get to be legendary, right? Mm-hmm. But you don't play for the first month. But you go play a couple matches and it ranks you, and you rank the same as a guy that is legendary. You're just not there yet. Mm-hmm. So you play him, and you're like, what's the first? I don't know what the first rank is. Whatever, glorious. And he's legendary. So what I think what's happening is people are looking at that and they're like, wait, why am I going against these legendary dudes? Mm-hmm. And I think that people are so used to, they're so used to games like Overwatch and League of Legends and other stuff where you get these ranks.
You get placed.
You get placed. Yeah, it's like gold, platinum, diamond, blah, blah, blah. And you can only move up when you're so badass or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. This makes sense to me, but I've seen people who are like, I don't understand why we have a rank system and then this hidden number skill system.
Yeah, the layer of it there is, it's like, okay, I'm grinding this rank, and this is the rank I think I am, and what the game thinks I am. But wait, you're doing something else that I don't know the value of that, the actual numbered value or the equation that's going on there, and you're matching me another layer than this. And it's like people, they just want the face value, like, this is what I am, this is what I'm working towards, and this is how you're matchmaking me.
I think the disconnect is where reaching these higher ranks in glory, or is it glory? Yeah, glory, is based on just wins, right? Mm-hmm. And that can vary. It totally depends on your performance, your team, your matchup, but it's just based on a win or a loss. But skill values are not just based on wins and losses. They take a lot of things into account. And I think that in other games where you have these placements, those placements don't just factor on wins and losses. Mm-hmm. Wins and losses can make a difference in moving you up in your elo, but it also looks at things like your KD, your assists, like other metrics, and obviously the skill value uses that too. And so I think that's where the disconnect is people are looking at it like, okay, this is competitive and I want to get the highest ranking competitive, but that rank's just based on whether you win or lose a number of times. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not based on your true skill. So like AER0KNIGHT can probably get to legendary, but so can Lumi. Doesn't mean they're the same skill level, right?
Right.
If we're in like a true, like his true play skill is probably like whatever diamond, and AER0KNIGHT's probably platinum, but they may reach the same rank. Right. And so I think that's where the difference is.
Yeah. And I mean, really, that was an excellent breakdown. I mean, because when you break it down that way, it makes sense. And in other words, you know, probably even elaborated on more here in the near future, what they're meaning. Yeah, you know, and I do understand what I had mentioned, you know, players are grinding a rank, and it's important to them that they know what that rank means. Yeah. But again, like you just described, it makes sense. You know, that layer of it does make sense.
But I think that Valor and Glory are the beginning. Mm-hmm. And I think that eventually it would be smart for them to tie their skill value, a player's skill value, into placements and have a separate metric that are placements outside of the Valor and Glory system.
Yeah.
So
it makes me think, the more and more I've talked about it and mentioned how surprised and very happy I've been with all the layers we got with the ranking system. And it's leaned more to the tiers and the loot tied with it and the layers we got there. But I think you're right. There's a lot on the back end and actually how the ranks will work where there's, room to grow over the next several seasons.
Yeah. And you have to think about it. If you're a player and you only matched against people with the same rank as you, you'd never go up.
Right.
Like, of course, if you want to go up to Legendary, you're going to have to play people in that bracket. You know, you don't just play in the sandbox your whole life and then go get to run in the desert when you're done. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you have to play people better than you. So that's just
Part of
my
it.
2 cents. I haven't even played these modes, but
Yep.
there's plenty of talk about it.
Yeah. And we can just run through these real quick. The next question he had on there is, why can I match against pre-formed fire teams when I'm searching as a solo player? After a bit of server-side tuning and investigation, we re-enabled the Crucible fire team matchmaking feature yesterday. So this would have been on Wednesday last week. This does not directly reduce the chances of matching against pre-made fire teams, but does tweak the skill values those fire teams to make it more likely that they find evenly matched opponents. So that'll be a welcome adjustment. Yeah.
Why won't you
been
make a
sweaty.
solo queue only
Yes.
playlist?
That would be amazing.
We don't want to do that because it would split the population in an unhealthy way, making it less likely for everyone to find good matches. Furthermore, that would probably mean splitting the glory rank into solo glory and team glory numbers. And we'd much rather be one single number to represent your prowess in the Crucible. I mean, that makes total sense.
Derek, I completely understand, and it all makes sense, and I understand why we may never see this, but man, it would be nice.
Maybe one day you do have solo glory and team glory, you know?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, like, if they had a solo queue only playlist, you're going to have people that would be like, yeah, I got glory, but I did it solo. Did you do it solo? Oh, you went in with a team? You did it the easy way, right?
Yeah.
That's totally what people will say, because that's what how people think.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Maybe one day you'll see that.
Dude,
mean, totally.
I played some quick play this weekend. I had to tweet it out. Man, quick play was even super sweaty this weekend.
Every quick play match I've played
Every
since
game. Yep.
season 3 started, sweaty.
Mine hasn't
Super
been
sweaty.
since the season started because I soloed the first several nights and had a pretty fun experience as far as winning and losing. I mean, I have fun regardless, but we played this weekend. Just two of us went in, and dude, it was like I tweeted out an image of 100. We won 100 to 98.
Yep.
Dude, every game
I
was like
had
that.
all my games down to 1 point, dude. 2 points.
Yeah.
Like, I think just, there's a reason, so people are going in and grinding that, and
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like, it's weird because you don't want that to be a complaint. It is very fun to play opponents.
It is.
But, to that level, but man, it wears you out. Like it was Saturday night, I'm fighting a little bit of a cold or allergies or something. And we play like 5 of those games and I'm like, I think I'm going to go get a snack and go to sleep.
Well, just doing the call to arms,
Yeah.
when I finally get to the end, I'm like, whew, all right, I'm going to take a break from that for a few minutes. Like,
Do a patrol.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun. It is fun though. It is fun. It's, but that's just a byproduct of there being a rank in there. And it's probably going to ease up after about a month or so, if I had to guess.
Well, anyways.
Last thing he mentions, why would you place me in a game in progress that I'm going to lose, ending my streak? Because I can understand that complaint. There's no joining progress in competitive, so this can't happen for Glory. However, we're working on a fix for Valor in the other playlists, so you won't lose your Valor streak that way. So that's good.
Yeah, and I think another point of feedback that I've seen quite a bit is people want possibly the losing streak to go away.
I hear those are pretty punishing.
Yeah. So
I had a friend and they were like, yeah, I got on a 5-game losing streak and I lost all my progress.
Yes.
Like, oh my
I know.
gosh.
We fit in one competitive match, the two of us, in between all of our quick plays this weekend, and that glory rank went down 10, and I'm like, yeah, okay, let's move back. Like, yeah, we'll wait till we get 4 people.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I would really like to try to throw my hat in there to do the Valor. Or the glory rather. I'm not ready. Maybe in a month or so. I don't know. There's too much other stuff to play, and it's like if I really wanted to do that, I would be on like every night, like practicing with a team and like going hard in the paint, right? And I'm just not ready for that commitment.
Well, it's like the lore, man. Like it's we talked about the value of the lore. Whether you're diving into it or not, it's awesome to know that it's there. So this is the same thing.
Yeah.
Like you've got that whole grind of we'll say fun grind there of competitive that you can jump in whenever you're ready. You know, it's like I want that Claymore, dude. I have this season to do it. So like I'm already like planning. I'm gonna just nick away at it here and there, but there's going to be a period of time 1 week where I just spend hours and hours with the full team just to get, I want to get that thing.
Yeah.
And the seasonal, expiration on it makes it even that much more substantial,
right.
You know?
Puts pressure on you. Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of PvP and seasonal, guess who's coming back?
Ooh,
Lord Saladin. Young Wolf. Tuesday, May 22nd to Tuesday, May 29th, Control returns to the Iron Banner. Saladin will feature a similar reputation system to the Vanguard, where players can climb the ranks by turning in tokens.
Yay.
Each reputation rank up will lend progress to unlocking desired rewards. They had a little preview screen that shows off some of the achievable rewards. We've got a mix of armor, weapons. There's an emblem. There's a ship on here. And, of course, some really beautiful looking ornaments. Mm-hmm. Now, they are killing it with the Iron Banner ornaments. I wish we could get them to do the Raid Lair stuff. These are like some of the best looking Iron Banner gear, man.
I love the direction they've been going with the Iron Banner stuff.
We've got Shredder.
Samurai, yeah. Dude,
we've got
Shredder.
Doctor Doom, and we've got, what is his name? The guy from Power Rangers, Lord Zed.
Oh, Lord Zed, yeah.
That's so great. There's some good looking, outfits. I'm definitely gonna chase after these.
I want to see some shaders on them, man. They're pretty shiny there in the TWAB, but I want to see some of these. Yes.
And of course, some new looking weapons that look pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see like the perk loadouts on these and stuff because they, in some areas they seem to be getting a little more adventurous with the perk combinations. So interested to see what we get with these guys.
Yep. So we've got like a sidearm, hand cannon, SMG, auto rifle, sniper, and a rocket on display here. Mm-hmm. Good looking stuff. So we'll see what kind of weapons we get. Finally, we're talking a little bit about the Destiny Q2 companion app, and they mention they're going to be making some changes between now and September to the app. A whole bunch of stuff actually they're working on, and they list some things out. Early summer, we're going to start to see they want to add stats on medals to the post-game Carnage report and player profiles. And so they're going to look to have some kind of way you can see that in the companion app, I believe, in the UI. Also, they're going to look to give players more ways to form fire teams through the companion and website. Some semi-LFG stuff there. Vendor accessibility and primary user experience. Vendors are currently available to interact with through the companion app. But a recurring piece of feedback was that players are unable to locate the feature. So they're going to try to move that from the progress section, which they mentioned is kind of hidden. They're going to basically merge the explore and progress tabs to make things more visible. They want to create an experience that gives you the what don't I want to miss out on and the what things do I need to go do sentiments. So that should be great. I really love the companion app and that they're continuing to evolve this thing.
I do. The companion app's excellent, especially when we keep seeing stuff like this. I wish we would see much more added to the website again.
Well, and I think that what they're mentioning is that what they're talking about here is not just the native companion app, but also the website.
Yeah, the web. Okay.
So I think the features they're mentioning here will be across both the site and the companion app. Next up in the summer, they want to work on gear and sorting. They talk about how awesome it is that third-party apps have been doing such a great job, but they want to up their game on things like transferring, sorting, and equipping gear, which would be a win there. And then finally, beyond the summer, they have some big targets they mention on the horizon, but don't tell us what those are. So I don't know what that could be next, but we'll find out. So that was the news. They mentioned in Destiny Player Support some ongoing issues they're working with. You can go check those out. One of the big ones this week was with Clan XP milestones. Of course, it's kind of late for me to tell you about this now, but people weren't getting powerful gear from those when turning them in to Hawthorne. So the workaround was by completing the milestone, but not turning it in and letting it automatically decrypt on reset. That might still be the case this reset. So as you're going into the week, just remember, if you want to get that at a powerful reward, don't go turn it into Hawthorne. Let it sit until reset and it'll auto decrypt into your inventory. Just make sure you've got room. That's Cyborg's tip of the week. Last, of course, we see our movies of the week. They mention the Destiny Community Podcast took on Team Bungie in the Bungie Versus stream. DCP actually took the cake on that one, 3-2. So congrats to those guys. And they do mention that they're going to be doing this again soon. So tweet DimG or post suggestion to the community forum if you have a suggestion for who you'd like to see.
Very cool. Yeah, I caught some of that. It was neat. It's cool.
That was the TWAB. Couple other little pieces of notable news. We talked a little bit last week about the ongoing puzzle on Mars involving the Warmind and all these crazy ciphers and a IRL geocache that was found in New York. And as of last week, the update was they found a new puzzle on the Valkyrie in a series of characters that was imprinted on it. And they had a couple guys go show up at Bungie because they knew that Bungie and VV had a Valkyrie. So the thought was, well, maybe there's some characters on theirs. And Cosmo informed them, no, there's nothing on ours. Well, update. VV actually messaged the guys who had the Valkyrie to clear the air. And they mentioned, look, we think there was a mistake and we don't want you guys endangering our employees showing up in our offices. So here's the deal. There was information on our Valkyries. Here are the character strings. And then here's a little more information. And so there was a new puzzle. But they mentioned, look, you guys have solved the bulk of it. This is just kind of an epilogue. So after about a day or so of working on these new codes, a user on Reddit solved it. And the answer was 2 tokens and a blue.
The ultimate troll.
What a troll.
Dude. And now, I mean, we can all laugh.
Oh, absolutely.
But that's like hilarious.
I'm sure nobody's feelings were hurt, but
yeah,
that's great. That's great. So the story, I believe, is concluded on that front. But quite a cool puzzle and ARG/adventure that VV put together. I got to take my hat off to those guys.
Yeah, definitely very
Really cool.
unique and cool. Something even new for the Destiny community.
Yeah. One last thing I wanted to throw out there, came across my Reddit feed this week. There's a app developer, goes by Lowlidev, Lowlidev, who put together he has a cool thing called Destiny Maps that uses Bungie's API. And you can basically go and see an interactive map of the Mars Hellas Basin that has all the little plot points of different activities, collectibles, hint, hint, and everything else you can find, which is great because if you're on Mars and you're trying to find a little server node or maybe some of those data fragments, it shows you like right on the map where the stuff is. So this is an awesome tool if you're trying to complete that stuff. The URL is https://lowlidev.com/au/destiny/maps/Mars. We're going to put it in the show notes.
Yes.
But this is an awesome tool, and kudos to this guy for putting it together. I'm using it already, and it's awesome.
Always loving these helpful, extremely helpful website and tools pop up.
Talented guardians out there, man.
Yes. Great stuff.
All right. That's all the news.
That's it?
That's all. Sorry. There's more to talk about, I think, than we realized.
Yes. Always. Especially with DLC and patches so recently having dropped.
Yep.
But Cyborg,
yes.
how was your reset, my friend?
My reset was a journey. A journey
Really?
to 372 light.
Did
a lot of stuff,
the
man.
raid?
Had some ups and downs. We were running the raids, trying to power up this week. So one thing they didn't talk about in the TWAB is an issue that has happened in the Callus fight. Apparently, when they made the changes to the shield, elemental shield damage, where, shields are now like the damage depends on if you're matching the element or if you're using kinetic. Well, the problem basically lies in that Callus, in the final fight of Leviathan, has a couple places where he has a shield. Unfortunately, you can't match the element of that shield because it doesn't have one.
Wow.
And the shield went from easily dispatchable to, oh my god, we need like 10 rockets to take down this shield. And when you're doing the Prestige Leviathan and it's not like a piece of cake so far, and you finally get through the damage cycle and you've done all the DPS and you just have to break his shield, and oh shit, nobody has any supers or rockets or anything left, and you're sitting there shooting them with your primaries and you only get them halfway done, you wipe and it's 3 in the morning. It's really aggravating.
You okay?
Yes.
Okay. Feel better.
So we didn't kill Callus this week. So that's an issue. So we just moved on and we went and did Eater of Worlds the next night.
Just moved on.
But it was just one less drop. It's not the end of the world because there's plenty of drops on the way to Callus. But it was just very frustrating after trying to conquer that, and then you finally do and you're denied.
Yeah.
We just couldn't believe it. It was like demoralizing.
That's worse than, average loot.
Yes. 'Cause it was good loot, and we were going to have double drops because we were running Prestige. We get the normal drops, regular drops. We really wanted good drops. So that was a thing that happened. But on the flip side, we ended up, the next night, we brought a friend of ours through Eater of Worlds for the first time. He had never seen it, was blind.
Wow.
And we had a really good time teaching him that encounter, and he had a great time, and he got some cool loot. And him and one of our other players actually got the exotic raid shell at the end. 2 of them.
That's cool.
Not just one, but 2.
Wow.
And one of them, the first time he's ever run it, I couldn't believe it.
Oh, that reminds
really
me of the
rare.
time when my friend got Fatebringer the first time he rainbowed the glass, and I still didn't have mine.
That's what I thought about. I was like, all these friends I have have these stories about that. First time, you know. But it was cool. It was great, and it just reminded me how fun it is to run people through that stuff. And it's really not bad if you've got a team that's capable to get 1 or 2 people through. Like, you can teach it pretty fast. You can give people roles that are simple, and we beat it in like an hour and a half.
Nice.
So that was fun. And so we were kind of talking about, you know, with Spire of Stars, like once we get through it, you know, there's gonna be a lot of people that aren't gonna tackle it because it seems like a really tough activity. We're like, man, we're gonna have to run some people through in the clans. So that'll give us something fun to do after we master that.
Yeah. Very cool.
So did that.
Become Sherpas.
Last night, we finally were able to get everybody back together. Kind of a different configuration, like some of the same people from last week and then some other people because everybody couldn't make it. And we ran through most of Spire of Stars. We did the first opening sequence with 2 new people and got it done first try. Really excited about that because we just like knocked it out, and then went to the jumping sequence, and there's an optional thing that you can do in that will allow you to open a chest at the end. And we did that, and that was really fun too. And
Nice.
We got that chest, and the chest is actually like has gear in it. So it's not just like an engram chest. So it's worth doing. And wow, I really want to show you this stuff. It's really cool if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I saw that pop up in my feed, but I don't know the details.
Yeah, I don't want to like get into detail because a lot of people haven't done this yet. So like kind of saving that maybe for a week or 2, but so just kind of talking generally. And then we got to the final arena, and we did we were able to figure out and complete the initial phase of the final boss fight. You know how with most boss fights, like there's a gatekeeper and then an Atheon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we did the first part, got that figured out. And then it was like 3 a.m. So everybody's like, all right, we're going to bed now.
Exhausted.
Maybe try this on Monday. So, we still have to figure out the boss fight, but I feel like we made it pretty far, and we had a lot of fun. We had some really funny moments and had a really good time. I have to say, like, again, like the Spire of Stars, just really high quality piece of content, like ton of fun. The mechanics are cool. They're unique. They build on each other well. And I think anybody that has enjoyed raids in Destiny should really take time to do these 2 layers. Like, I know a lot of people haven't. You really, really should.
Very cool. Yeah. Sounds like you've enjoyed it.
Like, I'm going to buy the game on PlayStation just to drag you through this stuff.
I know, man. It's like all it took before was Trials, and now there's Ranked Crucible. So, yeah. I've got
some distraction.
I've got to make time for the raids. It's all I used to do, man. Like way back. That's all I used to do.
They're really fun, man. They really are. You paid for them. At least go play them.
They're just sitting there waiting for me.
What's going on with you this week, man? What'd you get into?
Dude, I've just been knocking out my own personal little milestones. Of course, I got multiple catalysts to drop last week, and I finished off my Crimson Catalyst because I really wanted to get a video up using that weapon. And man, you have to shoot a lot of man. Dude, you have to shoot a lot of aliens in the face first of all to get that catalyst. Holy smokes! It is just range that you get with it, but it makes that gun turn into like a
Viable.
ranged weapon for you in the Crucible, because I was still thinking of like pairing it with, you know, a extended range pulse rifle or something. And then I see some other content creators and stuff watching their videos, and they're like, man, pair this thing with a sidearm, because the range, especially after you get the catalyst, is ridiculous. And
Really?
you know, while I feel it may not be like a top tier go-to weapon, it shreds, dude. Like I can do some work with it in the Crucible.
I've heard some mixed results. Like it's good on some maps and not others.
Yeah, I find that a lot recently.
Perfect.
Yeah, like I've started to adjust my loadout as I'm flying into the map once I see what it is, you know, because another great loadout right now is like a hand cannon or short ranged kinetic paired with graviton, because as we all know, graviton is just melting. So, you know, I've been jumping back and forth from Crimson to graviton to I'm using another as well. Like, it's just totally leaving my brain right now. But Vigilance. What am I talking about? Vigilance, of course. And I'm actually working on the catalyst for that. You've got to kill 250 Guardians in the Crucible, and there's another layer to it that I already have it complete. But yeah, I'm working on that one. I'm about, I don't know, a third of the way through it.
You have more catalysts than I do, man.
I don't know what's going on. I got Tractor Cannon as well. So of course that catalyst just gives you an extra round in the mag, or whatever you want to call it.
I think it brings it from 4 to 8.
Oh, it does take it from 4 to 8. I thought it just increased it 1. Wow.
Yeah, no.
I thought that was pretty lackluster then for a catalyst. Okay.
Yeah, my buddy Darth got it. I'm pretty sure he said it brought it up to 8.
Wow. Okay. Well, that one too is just kill enemies with it. Yeah. So I finally whipped it out this week, and I've never used it. It took me a while to even get the thing, just before the DLC, but man, that thing's fun.
Oh my gosh.
I definitely see the appeal and possibly seeing myself using it in the future in both sides of the game.
I was telling you before the show, I went into it for my Crucible milestone on one of my characters, and just ran that the whole time, and never felt like a bigger troll, but had so much fun doing it.
Yeah. It's something about that gun is just fun. It's and I thought you had to charge it up to shoot it, but no, it's just like an instantaneous blast.
You just hit it like a pulse, or you pulse it, you know, like pull the trigger and it shoots a pulse. What I'm trying to say. But I had this fun game where I got into it with this other Titan that had it and was running it as well. And I got the first heavy of the game that came up. And so I immediately went to the next node on the enemy side. I was like, I'm going to get this guy with this. And he pulled it just in time, and he pulled out the tractor cannon, and I hit it. And as he's like flying away, here go boom, like he tried to shoot me too, but he flew off the map. And I was like, oh, it's on. He's got one too. Like, and so for the whole match, me and this Titan went after each other with tractor cannon. Like, we kept getting heavy, picking it up off the people, and he shut down my super, then I shut down his super, and we would like trade around corners.
I love
with
that
it.
layer of it. Yeah, super
it's
shut down.
So much fun, and it's also great because if you know, it's got a short range, like a short box that isn't immediately visible, like how far away you have to hit people to get it to, you know, launch them. But that added debuff of the suppression is great, because if you can even just hit them with that, then you can just follow up with a quick primary or melee and finish them off. So it's got a little more utility than just using it like a shotgun. That's really fun.
Yeah. I mean, there's some props to that gun, because it's so unique and like nothing we've really seen before in Destiny. And it's not crazy overpowered, but there's very much an appeal to it. Right. Yeah. And it's, and you know, I never played, Portal. But every time I watched enough of that game or
it feels like the Portal gun.
It just reminds me of it every time I see it.
Like I played the Portals, and it feels like the Portal gun firing. So they did a good job on the weapon design. Right. Yeah.
Man, it's fun. I'm gonna have to work on that catalyst then as well, because I didn't realize it gave you that much more ammo for it. So that's a pretty big deal. I can definitely see running around with it pretty confident too in the Crucible.
What
Kinda like
subclasses are you enjoying running in the Crucible right now?
Right now, I always run Sentinel Bubble whenever I'm grinding up through PvE. And so I kind of had this mentality like, okay, that was what I had all masterworked initially, and I'm like, I'm just gonna grind this. And then I'm like, wait a second, it's not gonna be too long before I jump in the Crucible. So I switched over and I'm leveling my top tree striker, and I'm trying to like dual, like, okay, he can suffice for what I need in PvE, and then he's my go-to Crucible subclass and tree. Now I do want Armamentarium. I still haven't gotten that to drop so that I can possibly run bottom tree Sentinel. I do want that back. I really want Garrison back. We talked about that before the show too, but haven't seen that to mention anywhere.
I'm gonna pull it up. Forgive my typing. I'm gonna pull up so I know the name of it. There's a new Titan exotic armor for arms, and it is called, let's see, Ashen Wake.
Mm-hmm.
And it's built for Sunbreakers, and it gives you fusion grenades now explode on impact and gain increased throw speed. Don't look down on this armor, dude. It's so fun in the Crucible.
Well, and that's the thing is I actually did watch some videos on those, and it's amazing what it does, because that exploding on impact is huge.
Yes.
Now the part there is the actual damage that they do. So it's like, at least what I saw on the PvE side of the game, they don't do a ton of damage. But now, if they take off shields or more in the Crucible,
they're good for shields in PvE.
Yeah. So I love the idea of those.
They do higher damage with your grenades than a typical fusion does.
Yeah.
So what's cool about it, because you've got that really fast throw speed, is you basically just walk up and you can immediately put a grenade on their face. I mean, within a half a second, just like bam, grenade. And so you can use that like a shock tactic to just immediately drop their shield, and then just follow up with like a melee or some primary fire, and you will just wipe the floor with people that aren't ready for it. It's
nice.
Really fun. You can also use it like a defense tactic. Like if you're in a 1v1, you're a little low and you've got to get away, like you can just really quickly pop them with that fusion. It's going to do a lot of damage and maybe push them off, kind of back them off you a little bit, even the odds real fast.
Yeah.
So it's got some utility, man.
I did actually get them to drop too.
I'll try them out. It's fun.
Test them out. Yeah. Yeah. And I love, I'm very quickly wanting to get me some gear for my Sunbreaker subclass, because it's such a fun subclass to run. I really enjoy it in PvE, but PvP, of course, is fun as well. But yeah, like I've mentioned already, I've just fit in some quick play and some competitive this week. I haven't jumped in trials yet. I'm looking to hopefully start doing that a little bit more regularly like we used to. Of course, I had to pick up Suros from Zur. That was a nice surprise of him having that. We don't mention Zur much on this because he's usually gone when we go live.
It used to be such a big deal, like what's Zur selling this week. And
I did have that moment when he had Suros this weekend, though. I was like, ooh, gotta go see him.
He had those in the Claws of Ahamkara for sale. Yeah. That is a new return. So I picked those up. What'd you think about Suros, man? You try it out?
Yeah. I mean, the nostalgia's there for me. I mean, I didn't use it a ton in Destiny 1, and we talked about this too. I missed, like, I wasn't full blown, hadn't dove into the Crucible yet when it was the master of the Crucible, and I used broken. Yeah, we both talked about it. We used it post nerf. So, but I still, it's a cool gun. It's just an iconic
Feels
gun
like
for Destiny. Yeah, it's got the same perks. And
my only complaint is that the mag is a little small for the top tree selection, where you get more damage as the gun spins up and goes from, I think, like a 650 to a 800 to a 1200 round or something like that. And so by the end of the mag, it's really stable and it's putting out a lot of rounds, but you have like half a second of that before you run out.
Yeah.
So you have to be like coordinated with like putting that on the right enemies to finish them off. But like until you get really good at it, you always feel like you're coming up short and you're having to reload.
Yeah.
So if they masterwork that and you can get like a bigger magazine, that thing's going to be great.
Oh yeah. 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 And it's such a fun, iconic, exotic in the game.
Yeah.
So,
And the blue paint job's nice.
yes.
feel
Yeah.
like
Of course, Tess has
Suros
has
has had like the most paint jobs of any exotic gun. It has like 5
Right.
paint jobs at this point.
They had to tweak it, and then Tess has the ornament this week that makes it look like classic Suros, I believe.
Yeah.
Of course.
I kind of prefer
But,
the black and red one that came out like a year
yeah.
2 or 3 or whatever.
That was cool.
Yeah. Well, overall, man, a lot of fun in Destiny this week. The only thing I've not done this week that I really, really want to is taking a really hard crack at Escalation Protocol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't done that yet either.
I did like, I want to say I did like level 1, and at higher light it was a little easier. But I want to get like 9 people in there and just like hit it hard for a couple hours and see what it could do. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
Well,
Well,
man.
Dirt Fam Discourse time?
I think so. I think we might have a few this week.
We have a couple or 2 or 3.
I will lead it off with Mr. Mint Shows. Hello. Mint, yes. He says, "Hey guys, I've got to be perfectly honest. I played the heck out of the Morrowind update, but haven't done 1 single second of PvE. I can't stop playing the Crucible. I know there's so much there, but hey, I understand. Completely understand. I can't stop playing the Crucible. Now, as you may or may not know, I'm pretty terrible at the Crucible, but there are a few things I'd rather be doing in any spare time I've got. So, after a week of playing, I've got a couple favorites for you. As no surprise, Crimson feels great. I think it's my favorite exotic update. My favorite surprise, the 180 hand cannons. I don't remember what was changed in the update, maybe the recoil, but after using Nature of the Beast in a couple matches, I became addicted. I challenge you to play a couple games with it. You've got to land those headshots, but it can really put a hurtin' on some Guardians. Looking forward to the next episode." Dude, Nature of the Beast is a hand cannon that I just came across a month or so ago, and it fires so fast.
Let's look up and see if I have it.
It feels so good. So I'm gonna. I don't think I've
do have
used it. I don't think I've used it post update. So Mint, thank you. I'm gonna.
Let's
I'm
say
gonna have to throw that back on.
Osiris hand cannon.
Is it
Yeah. I'm looking at
really?
it. It's got an Osiris icon on it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't think it was. I thought it was just like a generic vendor hand cannon.
Okay, good
Yes,
recommendation.
I've used
check
it.
it out, man.
Yes, it feels, dude. It fires very quickly, quicker than you'd think. So, the 180. So, yeah, it's fun.
Steve sent us an email. "Hey guys, I love the podcast. My favorite thing about Destiny since May 8th is Escalation Protocol. While it's not perfect, it really represents that there's so much opportunity for Destiny to grow in so many ways to create new in-game activities. It gives me hope, and that's what we really need right now." Good point, Steve. Yeah,
With Steve?
it is cool to see Bungie creating new things, right? Mm-hmm. That definitely, like, beyond
Innovates.
just new content, like new riffs on what we know, the fact that they are still like creating new things for us to do is exciting. So I agree.
Yes. Okay. Darian. "Hey guys, just started listening to the show. Found you through Destiny Ghost Stories. Those guys.
Oh, wow.
Love previous episodes. My favorite activity is definitely the Warsat public events. I'm glad they are back. Keep up the great work, and I look forward to our community's future in Destiny 2. Yes, I'm also glad those are back. Those are classic, fun public events. Unless you think about what we had to do for those to get the old sleeper simulant back in the day, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Trying to get that one
that's
to
a throwback.
drop on Mars.
Yes.
What a pain. Yeah, those are fun, and they kind of, put a new spin on making it like heroic, and that's fun to do if you can get it to work right. So I agree. It's a nice thing to bring back. Rob1103 Hello, Arrow and Cyborg. My name is Robert. PSN is Rob110380. First off, I just wanted to thank both of you guys for the great community you've created with Derp. Without it, I would still be trying to solo much of what Destiny has to offer. But because of Derp, I've met a wonderful group of people that I consider some of my best friends. So for that, I just want to say thank you. Sorry for the long post above, just felt it had to be said. At the beginning of D2, my wife started playing Destiny with me, so my favorite activity is playing anything with her. Cheesy, I know, but true. As of the writing of this email, she got her first raid clear last night, so I couldn't be any more proud of her. Thanks for all you've done. All you've done. Cheers and take care, Guardians. P.S. Awoken male warlock, my boy.
That made me remember we stopped stressing, letting us know your class and
we stopped asking a long time ago, huh?
Yeah, we need to bring that back.
People were actually, it's funny, just this
week.
Oh,
that was with the geography update. Yeah.
Somebody asked me, hey, when is Masterclass Cup coming back? You know what I'm saying? It's like, maybe this summer. Got private matches now. But thanks, Robert, dude. That's so awesome that you're getting your wife to play Destiny with you, and she cleared a raid. Tell her Arrow and Cyborg said you're amazing.
Yes, very much. That's so cool.
Thank you guys for all of the discourse this week. I mean, we had literally like dozens of emails, so we can't read them all, but we'll try to continue to pick out some out of the pack and read them as we can over the next few weeks, but keep sending them on. Hopefully today you get a chance to enter in the contest. Either way, even if not, send us some emails. Let us know what you're enjoying, what's your favorite like activity mode, anything in Destiny is right now since season 3 has started. You can email us destinyresetpodcast@gmail.com or leave us a speak pipe. We haven't got one of those in a while.
Been a bit.
Speakpipe.com/destinyreset. Patrons?
No new patrons this week, but just like reviews, we like to take this time to thank all of you Derp patrons and supporters. You guys are amazing.
Yes, we do. If you don't know what a patron is, go to patreon.com/destinyreset. If you head over there for as little as $1 a month, you can support the production budget of our show. And I'm not going to lie to you, it's a huge help to me and Arrow that we've got a little budget to work with on the show that covers things like hosting costs and just all the little like software and little piece of gear we got to buy, try to give you guys higher quality audio and just all this stuff. It makes a big difference for us, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Very much.
What are some of the perks that they get if they become a patron?
You will get a nice big O shout out on the podcast. Of course, your gamer tag, and you will get your name put on our website and Derp Fan Patrons and Supporters section. And by name, we mean gamertag. And you will also get an invitation to our exclusive Discord channel for Derp Fan patrons and supporters, where you can chat with fellow Guardians and Cyborg and myself.
Yeah, boy.
Yes.
Get to ask Aaron Knight what he got from his favorite sandwich shop every day. Firehouse Subs.
I don't know why I always feel the need to post that, but I think it's just because I'm excited.
It's a thing, man.
I'm excited
that
I'm
your lunch.
Yep.
You get daily reviews on Turkey Bacon Ranch. I'm just kidding. I'm just making stuff up now.
You are now.
But thanks for all of our patrons. And finally, if you don't want to do the monthly deal, if you just want to like give us a cup of coffee, you can do that too. You can send us a tip through PayPal. There's a PayPal link on our website. You can go do that. We have plenty of people that do that, and we really appreciate those just as much as the monthly patrons. So that is all.
Great stuff. Yes. Thank you guys so much.
This week. Where can people find you,
I think. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch at AER0KNIGHT with a 0. What about you, buddy?
You can find me at CyborgSasquatch on Twitter and Mixer. You can finally find us at Destiny Reset on Twitter. Come give us a follow. You can also come check us out on the web at www.destinyresetpodcast.com. That's your source for all things DRP, including links to subscribe to us on your favorite podcast app of choice. Thank you for the Apple Podcast reviews.
We got one?
New reviews?
Who's this? Cyborg? Derezed Glitch?
Glitch. Yep, that's the best I got.
Thank you so much, Guardian. We appreciate it.
We appreciate that. If you're listening to us on iTunes / Apple Podcasts, iPhone, whatever you want to call it, please come drop a review for us. We really appreciate those. I think we're like 165 or something right now.
We're 160.
I want us to get to 200. Mm-hmm. So come drop a review, an honest review. We appreciate it. And look, those help us get seen by more people that are looking for a Destiny podcast. So they really do make a difference. It's one of the things that iTunes looks at and how it places us in the search results. So please do.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Guardians.
Thank you, Arrow Knight.
Thank you, buddy.
All right.
We're recording Sunday night this week. It's only 1:00 in the morning, so it's very possible.
It's early. We're fine.
Yeah, we could fit in some playtime, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go run some more strikes.
All right, guys. Until next week, have fun playing Destiny 2, and take care, Guardians.